What's going on, my friends? Welcome back to the REF Sense channel here on YouTube. I'm Jesse, and I hope you guys are doing well today. So let me tell you about a debate that goes on in the fragrance community that I think is important to talk about a little bit. And that is the debate between whether it's more important to smell unique or smell popular. And if you ask a fragrance snob what they think, more than likely they're going to say it's more important to smell unique. You know, get one of those fragrances that are, really, really niche and have these complex scent profiles that you think speak to you as a person. Okay, I get that. And personally, I think that a fragrance can smell unique and smell popular at the same time. But for purposes of this video, popular fragrances are the ones that are designed to pull compliments. And I think that's important for some people to have in their collections, especially if you're not all that into fragrances. You know, you need something that everybody around you is going to like, that everybody's going to notice whenever you walk by, and they're going to really say, man, I really like the way he smells. So I'm going to give you 7 fragrances from my collection that have personally got a lot of compliments for myself. I think they can also pull some compliments for you as well. So I hope you'll give them some consideration. Let's go. Now, I'll be honest, I'm very excited about this lineup of fragrances we have. It's a versatile lineup. We've got some summer and spring fragrances. We've got fall and winter fragrances. We've got some blue fragrances, all kinds of things. And, that's how we talk about fragrances anyways, is by season, by which age group it fits the best, by occasion, all of those things. But this first fragrance that we're going to talk about in this list is very important to have, and it will definitely pull you compliments, not only because it smells good, because it is probably the most versatile fragrance that money can buy, at least the one that's on the market right now. It is Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. I'm sure that plenty of you guys probably already figured that out, but if you want something that's going to pull compliments and you can wear anytime during the season, to any occasion, if you're young, if you're old, this one does the trick. It's got some nice fresh top notes of like grapefruit, some lemon, some mint, some aldehydes, maybe some pink pepper as well. But as it dries down, you're going to start getting a little more woody with some ginger, some cedar, some sandalwood, some amber, and incense as well, amongst some other notes or whatever. But what it does is it gives you a fresh shower gel, just out of the shower type of feeling with it. But it projects a lot. You don't need very, very much, and it lasts a long time. I'm talking 2 or 3 sprays will last you at least 8 hours, sometimes up to 10 hours, depending on if it's cold or if it's hot. The hotter the weather, the less it's going to stay on your skin. Cold weather, it's going to stay on your skin a little bit more. Now, another thing to know about Chanel products in genuine, but Bleu de Chanel especially, is that it's not exactly cheap. A 100 milliliter bottle of this is going to run you right about $150 to $160. And it is near impossible to find Chanel products or Chanel fragrances on discount websites, or if you do find them on discount websites, they will not be discounted. Chanel, they don't discount their stuff. I don't know why. I don't like it, but at the end of the day, this one still does exist. And is it worth the $150, $160? Yes, it is. Okay. Bleu de Chanel, an ultimate compliment puller, very versatile, and definitely one that you need to check out. All right, guys, fragrance number 2 is one of my most complimented fragrances in my collection, and one that I absolutely love wearing when it starts getting hot outside. It has this really nice, youthful, and vibrant feel to it that I just cannot get enough of. We are talking about Versace Hawas. It is a Middle Eastern fragrance that smells very, very close to Paco Rabanne's Invictus, but it's like, this is what Invictus wants to grow up to be like when it gets older, It is a very sweet aquatic fragrance with some Slightly woody and spicy nuances on the bottom, but you can barely pick up on them. Its top notes are like apple, bergamot, some lemon, and a little bit of cinnamon in there. You can't really smell too much on the cinnamon unless you really close your eyes and focus. But as it dries down, that's when you really start getting the aquatic notes, a little bit of plum, and then you've got some driftwood and ambergris in there, giving you a little bit of an oceanic feel to it. But this one right here, it is a monster as far as its projection and performance. We're talking 10 hours on 2 sprays, and people will be able to smell this from at least 3 feet away. And this atomizer, it seems like it sprays maybe a milliliter each time you spray it out, but it is serious. Now, here's the thing. If you purchase this now, you're probably going to get a bottle that's more purple in its liquid and not so much clear as mine is. Now, I've had this bottle for about 2 years. It has been reformulated since then, but what you need to know is that the performance has not changed. As a matter of fact, it has changed a little bit. It's gotten better. Okay, the way it smells is exactly the same. So if you see this on Amazon, or you can buy it on Amazon, by the way, or if you find it on a discount website, you're going to see it for around $50 to $75. But if it is purple instead of the clear that you see here, do not worry. You are getting the same fragrance, and it is still going to be amazing. So Versace Hawas, amazing compliment pulling fragrance that you need to have in your collection. Moving right along to fragrance number 3. I love this fragrance, guys. I love it. I only came into ownership of it about a month ago, and I don't know why it took me so long to pull the trigger. But I'm so glad I did, and I don't care what happens in the future. I think this fragrance will always be in my collection. From the house of Givenchy, this is Gentleman Reserve Prive. It is an eau de parfum. Oh my God, I love how good this smells. This is kind of a boozy gentleman's fragrance. It just screams suave and sophisticated whenever you spray it on. And it is an iris-based fragrance like a lot of the Gentleman line is. And guys, iris is one of my favorite notes in fragrances. It's anything from Prada L'Homme Intense to Dior Homme Intense, as well as the Reserve Prive, and even the Gentleman Givenchy Eau de Parfum. This is just phenomenal. Now let's talk about this fragrance though. Let's get back on track. All right, when you first spray it on, you've got some bergamot and iris that you're met with right up front. But as it starts drying off, you're going to get some whiskey, some chestnut, some other woody notes, and also some amber. And it is just brought together into this great fragrance that's going to work really well for a fall and wintertime occasion. I would not suggest that you wear this when you're going out casually during this situation in the fall and winter, but it's not going to be a black tie event fragrance either. I'm just saying it's going to be more like when you wear a collared shirt, when you want to dress to impress, you really want to put yourself off as a confident gentleman, but not go overboard and act like a douche. You know, that's the type of fragrance that I see this as. It is for the confident man that wants to be a gentleman at the same time. This one is going to be about $80 to $110 depending on where you find it, but it's worth every penny. It performs well, it gets a lot of compliments, and people have asked me over and over again when they smell it. They've asked me what I'm wearing, and I tell them, and I have actually helped convince a couple people to get it myself. So Reserve Prive, guys, put it on your list. Fragrance number 4, we're going back with a summer scent, and I promise you, this one is going to be one that the crowds will love. It is Versace Pour Homme. I have no freaking clue why I have a 200 milliliter bottle of this, but I'm just glad that I'm not going to run out ever because this fragrance smells amazing. I'm never going to use all of this, but that's okay with me. But this one right here is a really good summertime fragrance. It's citrusy and smells somewhat aquatic, even though there are no aquatic notes in here. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite things about this fragrance is that not a lot of people realize that there are quite a few floral notes in here. Yeah, you're hit with some lemon and bergamot when you first spray it on. However, you're also going to get a little bit of neroli, some rose, some clary sage, and geranium in there. All of these mixed with some tonka bean, musk, and amber, and a little bit of cedar bring about this aquatic, fresh, citrusy, and bright, vibrant feel to it, okay? Now, this is not a very long-lasting fragrance. That's one of the downsides to it. We're talking about 5.5 to 7 hours, depending on how hot it is. But it's also not the most expensive as far as designer fragrances go either. Versace is one of the more affordable designer fragrances out there. So I think you can get 100 mils or even 50 mils for right between $50 and $80. It depends on what size you get, and also it depends on where you shop. Now, I also have a lot of people tell me that they love this fragrance, but these guys that really enjoy this are athletes, people that go to the gym a lot, people that work outside. So if you happen to be one of these guys, I think this is going to be a fragrance that really, really will make you stand out. And also, as well, for those of you guys that don't know, this fragrance also smells very, very similar to Chanel's Allure Homme Sport. However, the Allure Homme Sport is, number one, going to be more expensive. It lasts just a tad bit longer, and it has a much more pronounced vanilla dry down. So it is very, very sweet as it dries down, but it's still really, really good for those of you guys that are sweaty or work out or play a lot of sports. But in the meantime, Versace Pour Homme is going to be a much more affordable option. It smells just as good. Next up on our list, we have a fragrance from the House of Azzaro. And I've got to be very honest, I've been hit or miss with Azzaro. Some of their fragrances are really good. Some of them are, not my favorites whatsoever. But this particular line is the Wanted line, and I love pretty much every fragrance from this line, with the exception of Tonic, which is bullcrap. We don't talk about Tonic ever. But each release seemed to get better as it went on, and this is their most recent release from the Wanted line. This is the Most Wanted Parfum. And my friends, it is so freaking good. Now, first thing to know, this being their most recent release, it's going to be very hard to find it discounted, okay? You're going to be looking at between $80 and $110 depending on what size you get. Also, it's not a very complicated fragrance in terms of its notes. We've got ginger on the top, we've got some woody notes right there in the heart, and then bourbon vanilla right there in the bottom. And that's it. So what makes this fragrance so good is because these fragrance notes fit perfectly with each other. They roll one from the next, and it is a beautiful combination. So each fragrance in the Wanted line has its own vibe. You've got the regular Azzaro Wanted that's kind of like Paco Rabanne's Invictus. It's just fun. It's a good casual wear. Then you've got Wanted by Night that's got some bad boy vibes. Then you've got the Most Wanted. That was released in 2020, I believe. That's kind of got some sweet clubbing vibes, much like Versace Eros. And then finally, Azzaro the Most Wanted Parfum. I think this one right here is a good fancy night out and romantic scent. I believe the ginger and the vanilla really give it a little bit of a, I would say a little bit of a spicy Armani Stronger With You feel. But it is a really nice fragrance, but because of its price, I would say go ahead and go to the store and see if you can get some samples of it first, okay? You don't want to spend so much money on something that you're not sure if you're going to like or not. So go sample it, but as far as I'm concerned, I do think this is worth a buy. It's time for fragrance number 6, and we're going to go back with another blue fragrance. This is a little bit similar to Bleu de Chanel, but it's going to be a little bit less expensive, and some of the scent profile is adjusted to be sweeter. This is, once again, from the House of Versace. This is Versace Dylan Blue. Now, people that are in the fragrance community, a lot of them kind of look down on Dylan Blue as a blue fragrance just because it's so easy to like that it's almost boring. Now, myself, I respect the fact that it does pull a ton of compliments. I don't wear this one in terms of my blue fragrances. I don't wear this one very much. I prefer YSL Eau de Parfum. I prefer Bulgari Aqua Atlantique. May it rest in peace forever. But this one right here, I get so many people that tell me they bought this and they love it, and so many people around them love it. So I don't care what your thoughts are. This absolutely pulls compliments. Now, this is, once again, like I said, very close to Bleu de Chanel, but this one is going to be sweeter and it's going to be a lot more aquatic. So when you first spray it on, you've got the watery notes, you've got the grapefruit, you've got the bergamot, but it's not going to carry those. It's not going to carry those woody notes that the Bleu de Chanel has. Rather, you're going to have some ambroxan. You're going to have a couple of green notes like some violet leaf and some fig leaf, and then you've got some tonka bean and some incense and saffron there in the base. But I'm telling you, this one, it gets the job done. And it's also, by the way, because of the sweeter tone in here and the aquatic tone, you're going to lose a little bit of the versatility as well that Bleu de Chanel has. So I would not really see this as being a wintertime fragrance. It's going to be more of a springtime, summertime, and early fall. Once the leaves start changing, you can probably put this on the shelf and just kind of do away with it for the season, okay? But the other good thing about this one is that it's a lot cheaper than Bleu de Chanel. We're talking about between $40 and $60, depending on the size bottle you have. And I promise, like I said, guys, I promise this one is going to get you compliments. You know, so Bleu de Chanel, if you want to smell good and you want people to know that you smell good, this is the one to get. Here we are at the end with the last fragrance, and I actually saved this particular fragrance for the end because it's not usually thought of in terms of, you know, the scent profile of a fragrance. It's not thought of as being an ultimate compliment pulling fragrance, you know. But from my personal experience, this one has gotten me the most compliments of anything that I have in my entire collection. I remember one particular instance where there were 3 random strangers that gave me 3 unsolicited compliments all in the same day when I was wearing this one. It is absolutely stunning. It is a bad boy fall and wintertime fragrance from Bulgari. It is Man in Black. There it is. Bulgari Man in Black. Now, like I said, this is not thought of as your typical compliment pulling fragrance, but it is stellar. It is absolutely stellar. It's got some spicy rum and tobacco notes at the top, and then as it dies off, you're going to have some leather, some iris, tonka bean, benzoin, and some gaiac wood. Very, very, you know, very edgy in its presentation. But it's not overbearing. You know, you got something like John Varvatos' Dark Rebel, may it also rest in peace. It is discontinued, but that one is incredibly dirty. This one is artistic in the way it presents itself as far as its scent profile. Each note rolls one right to the other as it stays on your skin. And it lasts for about 6 to 8 hours. This is going to be a night out fragrance in the fall and winter time, and it is one that, like I said, I think everybody deserves to smell this fragrance at least once. You're going to be looking at between $60 and $85 for a 100 milliliter bottle if you shop from discounters, but it is worth every penny. I myself would pay upwards of $150 if I needed to purchase this fragrance, and I would not have any problem with it. I dare say I think this smells like a niche quality scent profile. You know, it smells like a niche fragrance, even though it's from Bulgari. It is a designer fragrance technically, but it smells super niche. So Bulgari Man in Black, guys, it got me compliments. I know it can get you compliments as well. And there we are, my friends. These 7 fragrances will definitely get you some attention, and not the bad kind of attention either. People are going to like what you're wearing. And I do think it's important for people to like what you're wearing. There are some situations you can find yourself in where it's okay to be unique, where it's okay to smell a little bit different. Not a problem, but I do really think that there is value in having people compliment you, having people appreciate and even envy what you're smelling like, okay? So have a couple compliment pullers, you know. Don't be afraid to wear these out. Don't be afraid to smell like everybody else once in a while, because everybody wears the same thing sometimes because it smells damn good. There's no getting around it, and it's okay to break those fragrances out from time to time. Either way, guys, I'm so glad you guys watched this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Be sure you like and subscribe, and stay tuned for some more videos coming up in the future. Much love, my friends. Take care.